Hello everyone, and welcome back to OverPlay, the only show on the internet that combines the precision of an overview with the improvisational skills of a Let's Play. And while there's probably a good reason for it, we don't have time to talk about it today because we have to talk about DLC the game. Double-priced expansion the game. No, I'm going to go with that last one, because unfortunately that's what this really feels like. And I am, of course, talking about Hitman 2. The sequel to IOI and Eidos Interactive's previous game, Hitman. And while I was going to do a joke about Hitman's confusing continuity and joke about how renaming games that have already happened are confusing and long-winded, fun story, after I got done writing my own bits, I decided to see what somebody else was doing and stumbled across Zero Punctuation's review, and how we basically made the exact same joke. Not wanting to seem like I'm ripping off from a vastly superior reviewer, I decided to just simply forego that and make my own commentary about it. Now, as I said, this is the sequel to IOI and Eidos' previous Hitman game, released in episodic content and put out in various segments, allowing for replayability across various missions. And this one seems to have gotten away from that. And while I'm sure many people enjoy that, I, for one, think it was a huge mistake. While this is a good-looking game and a good playing game, it's nothing new, really. It's still the exact same Hitman game. Just different levels. And that really kind of bums me out. And last camera. There we go. Now, as I said, this is by no means a bad game. This is well developed. It's well made. But it's still the exact same Hitman game that we had previously. Ooh. Hi there, people.
Early 30s.
Now, by that, I don't really want to sound dismissive of anything. It really does feel like they put a lot of extra time and effort into making this game be its own thing. It just doesn't quite carry that in its production. The gameplay is still the exact same. The graphics don't have an upgrade to them. It all looks the exact same and plays the exact same as the original, which begs the question, why bother doing this as a full retail game rather than just releasing it episodically like you were the previous game, which seemed to have worked out very well for whoever you were appealing to? But I digress. That is a discussion for another day and another time. Today, we are simply here to talk about Hitman 2 and how it's not a bad game. It just kind of needs something else. And again, I feel that something else could relate very well towards the releasing episodic rather than just all at once. Now, getting into that, let's go ahead and discuss the story since it's the quickest thing I'm going to be able to talk about today. And that comes down to the fact that this is a story about Hitman's quest to find out more about his past and stop the evil people who kill people for money, unlike you, because they're bad about it. That's all I got, really. And while you don't technically need a whole lot of reason for a Hitman game, dear God, I would not want that in my bedroom. It would be nice to have something a little more substantial to it. Poison the whiskey. Let's not do that just yet. And, ooh, lots of disguises for Hitman. Now, that really kind of comes down to a bit of a problem with it. Uh-oh. I don't have those. In that, yes, this game, as I said, plays well, looks good, but there's no substance to it. There's no depth to it. And that's just kind of a bummer. And without getting too far into spoilers, that's all I'll say for that. And if you can stomach past that, you're doing alright then. You'll probably be just fine.
The office computer, no doubt.
So, that being said, how does that leave the rest of the game? Well, as I said, it's based all off of the previous Hitman game, and the previous Hitman game looked and played really, really well. As you can see, this one uses the same engine, the same visuals, and all that good jazz, but they took a bit of a different eye to the level layout, allowing it to be a little more open, more fluid. And as such, it is much easier to navigate. There's less chance of you getting lost in a level in a complex stage. Now, that doesn't mean that you just won't have things capable of doing. Instead, it means that you... Oh, sweet. Got a J for if I want to cool down after the mission. It means that you'll be able to do something more complex with the mission itself, rather than trying to wind your way through a convoluted stage. And I really like that. It speaks better that it flows well, which kind of just makes it all the more ungratifying that it... Let's see. We're gonna poison the honey. Man, I hope she likes honey. Anyway. And, yeah, like I say, the game layout works really well this time around. I remember in the last one I was very easily lost, and sometimes it was difficult to find my bearings and convince myself where I needed to go.
I'm in.
So, instead here we have a very simple layouts with lots of things you can do in between. Yeah, go away. There's my thing. So now I can just wait for her to hopefully eat something or drink something with the honey and die like that. Or I can just jump out and kill her. For the time being, I'm going to go ahead and let it go, seeing as how this gives us more of a chance to talk, primarily about the visuals, which, as I said before, look really, really good, which should come as no surprise. Eidos has been doing this for a long time, and you can kind of tell that they've taken what they learned from the new Tomb Raider games and applied it to the same idea here with Hitman. The level design looks great, and the character models look great. It's just, as I said before, it all just feels like an expansion from the previous game. Which, while it looks good, I can't necessarily say that's what I would have liked. It all boils down to the simple fact as to whether or not you enjoyed Hitman 1. If you did, you're going to enjoy this one too, probably. If not, I'm afraid this one does you no favors. It'll look good, it'll play good, but if you didn't like it the first time around, you're probably not going to like it the second time. That being said, these are just my opinions, and opinions are always subjective. What did you guys think? Did you play it? Did you not? Do you have any intentions to because of the exact reasons I've listed? Leave your comments down below, and we'll try and get back to more of them, and I really hope these guys don't look in baskets. Shotguns and Uzis can hurt up close. That's going to take forever. Alright. Well, you know what? Oh. Hi, guys. You guys do what you gotta. I'm going to take out my target. We'll see you next time, everybody. Laters.
You will take the stairs up to the rooftop helipad, where your boss, Rupert Pierce, is taking his morning jog. You will inform his guards that you are delivering an urgent message. You will approach Mr. Pierce, lure him close